The walls of the living room echoed with silence, broken only by the distant sound of traffic outside. Sunlight filtered through half-drawn curtains, casting muted shadows across the worn-out couch, where Jacob often found himself lost in his thoughts. At 30, he was a man who once thrived on spontaneity, his laughter echoing through the halls of their shared home. But now, he felt like a ghost of his former self, weighed down by anxiety and the suffocating presence of betrayal. "Hey, Jacob, you in there?" The familiar voice of his best friend Sam cut through the fog of his despair. Sam's boisterous energy was a sharp contrast to the lethargy that clung to Jacob. "We have plans, remember?" Plans? The word felt foreign. Jacob forced a smile, standing to meet his friend. "Yeah, just trying to gather my thoughts." "You've been saying that for weeks now." Sam's tone shifted, concern punctuating his playful facade. "You need to get out. Remember how we used to hit the bars? Have some fun?" Fun. The concept felt so distant, like a memory from another lifetime. But the truth was, his world had shifted dramatically since the day he stumbled upon the truth. The day he discovered that Emma, the woman he had devoted almost a decade of his life to, had betrayed him. "I can't, Sam. Not now." Jacob's voice faltered, a tremor betraying the facade he tried to maintain. "Not after everything. Forget everything for one night. Let's just go out and be ourselves. You deserve it, man." Sam's eyes bore into Jacob, a mixture of empathy and urgency. As Jacob hesitated, a fragment of his past echoed in his mind. A night filled with laughter, dancing, and the intoxicating thrill of being alive. But that night felt like a mirage, fading into the reality of his crumbling relationship. Emma's infidelity had been a crushing blow, one that left him questioning his worth and place in the world. With a deep breath, he finally relented. "Okay, but just for a little while." The inciting incident had been swift and devastating. He had come home early one evening, expecting a warm embrace and a shared meal. Instead, he found Emma's phone, buzzing incessantly with texts from a name he didn't recognize. The moment he read the messages, a cold wave of betrayal washed over him, leaving him gasping for air. The laughter, the moments they shared, all felt tainted now. As he and Sam ventured into the night, Jacob felt an odd mix of anticipation and dread. The city pulsated with life, a stark contrast to the turmoil within him. He had once found solace in this urban heartbeat, but now it felt like a reminder of everything he had lost. The bar was alive with the clinking of glasses, laughter, and the thumping bass of a popular song. Jacob felt a surge of energy as he entered, a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, he could reconnect with the man he used to be. Sam pulled him toward the bar, ordering 2 beers with a grin. "Here's to the old Jacob." Sam raised his glass, his enthusiasm infectious. Jacob clinked his glass against Sam's, but couldn't bring himself to smile. Instead, he took a long sip, letting the cold liquid wash down the bitterness in his throat. As the music pulsed around him, he felt the weight of his thoughts pressing down like a heavy shroud. "Hey, look who it is!" Sam exclaimed, gesturing toward a group of familiar faces at a nearby table. "Let's join them." Jacob followed, feeling the familiar anxiety creep back in. The group had once been his close friends, but since Emma's betrayal, he felt like an outsider among them. They laughed, shared stories, and danced, while Jacob lingered at the edge, a silent observer of a life that once belonged to him. "Jacob, A voice broke through the haze. It was Emma's best friend, Lily, her presence like a jolt to his system. "You made it! We thought you were hiding away forever." He forced a smile, but inside, a storm brewed. "Just trying to get out more." "Good! We all miss you. Emma's been worried." Her words hit him like a punch. The mere mention of Emma sent his heart racing, anger bubbling just beneath the surface. "Yeah, I'm sure she is," Jacob replied, his tone sharper than he intended. "What's she up to these days?" Lily hesitated, her eyes darting away. "You know, just trying to figure things out." Figure things out. The phrase hung in the air, a reminder of everything he had lost. He felt a surge of anger, the familiar sensation of betrayal igniting within him. "Is that what you call it? Figuring things out?" Lily's expression shifted, her discomfort palpable. "Jacob, it's complicated. You know how relationships can be." "Complicated?" he scoffed, his voice rising above the music. "She cheated on me, Lily. There's no complexity in betrayal." The tension in the air thickened, the laughter around them fading. Jacob felt the eyes of those nearby turn toward him, their conversations stalling as they absorbed the weight of his words. "Look, I'm not here to make you uncomfortable," Lily said, her tone softening. "But Emma really does care about you. She's just been struggling." "Struggling?" Jacob shook his head, disbelief seeping into his voice. "I'm the one who's been struggling. She shattered my trust, Lily. I can't just let that go." The confrontation hung in the air, a pivotal moment that shifted the course of the night. Jacob's emotions swirled like a tempest, the anger and hurt clashing within him. He felt the urge to confront Emma, to demand answers, to reclaim his narrative. And yet a part of him hesitated, fearing the vulnerability that would accompany such an encounter. As the night wore on, Jacob's resolve solidified. He needed closure, a way to regain control over his life. He envisioned confronting Emma, not with anger, but with a sense of purpose. He would not allow her to dictate the terms of his healing. He would seek justice in a way that felt right, not just for himself, but for the man he had once been. The turning point arrived in the form of a text message. As Jacob scrolled through his phone, he discovered a notification. Emma had sent a message. His heart raced, a mix of anticipation and dread. "Can we talk? I miss you." The words felt like a slap in the face, a reminder of the past he wanted to escape. But deep down, he knew this was the moment he had to seize. He would not shy away from confrontation any longer. "Let's talk," he typed back, his hands trembling slightly. "But on my terms." The decision felt liberating, a shift from victimhood to empowerment. Jacob could finally take control of his narrative, and that tiny spark ignited a fire within him. Days passed, each one marked by a growing tension as Jacob prepared for the confrontation. He rehearsed what he would say, the words playing over and over in his mind. He refused to back down this time. He needed her to understand the pain she had inflicted on him. When the day finally arrived, they met at a coffee shop, the familiar aroma of roasted beans swirling in the air. Jacob arrived first, seated at a table in the corner, his heart pounding as he awaited her arrival. Emma walked in, her presence immediately commanding attention. She looked different, more polished, her demeanor exuding confidence. But Jacob saw through the facade. He recognized the nervousness in her eyes. "Hey," she said, sliding into the seat opposite him. "Thanks for meeting me." "Let's skip the pleasantries, Emma," Jacob replied, his voice steady. "We need to talk about what happened." "Jacob, Save it, he interrupted. You hurt me in a way that I can't forget. I need to understand why you did it. Her expression faltered, guilt flashing across her face. I was confused. I didn't mean for it to happen. That's not good enough, he said, his voice rising slightly. You shattered my trust. You made me question my worth. Do you even understand the impact of your actions? Emma's eyes glistened with unshed tears. I know I messed up. I didn't know how to handle my own feelings. Your feelings? You think this is about your feelings? Jacob felt the anger boiling beneath the surface. You betrayed me, Emma. You chose someone else instead of communicating with me. I know, she exclaimed, her voice trembling. I regret it every day. I wish I could take it back. Jacob leaned forward, his gaze piercing through her facade. You can't take it back, Emma, but you can face the consequences. I deserve that much. The confrontation reached a boiling point, tension crackling in the air. Jacob felt an unexpected surge of resolve. He had spent too long wallowing in the shadows of her betrayal, and now it was time to reclaim his narrative. I'm considering legal action, he said, the weight of his words hanging in the air. I want to hold you accountable for the pain you caused. Emma's face paled, and the tears finally spilled over. Jacob, please don't. I never wanted it to come to this. Maybe you should have thought about that before you cheated, he replied, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. This isn't just about us anymore. This is about my healing, my recovery. I can't do that without justice. The conversation shifted, the dynamic evolving as they both confronted the reality of their situation. Jacob felt a weight lift from his shoulders, a sense of empowerment flooding through him. This was no longer just about anger or betrayal. This was about reclaiming his life. As they parted ways, Jacob felt a strange sense of closure. He didn't know what the future held, but he knew he was moving forward, no longer tethered to the past. In the days that followed, Jacob found himself immersed in the process of healing. The weight of betrayal lingered, but it no longer defined him. With each step he took, he reclaimed fragments of his identity, rediscovering the laughter that once echoed in his soul. The bar became a place of renewal, where he forged new connections and rekindled old friendships. As he navigated the complexities of trust and vulnerability, he learned that healing was not linear, but a journey filled with ebbs and flows. Justice had been served, but more importantly, Jacob had learned to stand tall in the face of adversity. The road to recovery was long, but with every passing day, he embraced the possibility of new beginnings, knowing that the scars of the past would eventually fade into a testament of resilience. What steps do you think are necessary for healing after betrayal? Tell us what you think in the comments section down below. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.